My name is Aristotle Papanikolaou. The topic was around the relationship of individualism and collectivism within Orthodox political theology and as it's playing out today within the various Orthodox countries and even within the Orthodox communities in non-Orthodox countries.
And what's your sense of why those issues are important for your field or for the church or for the world more broadly?
Well, in general, within sort of the West, there has been a debate over the past few decades about the role of religion in public life, and that particular debate has become very relevant within the Orthodox countries, especially in the post-communist world. And for the first time, Orthodox countries are sort of having to negotiate liberal democracy and issues related to church-state separation. And, it's taken on a certain history and trajectory, and especially now after 2012, the Russian Orthodox Church, together with Putin, seem to be projecting themselves in a particular way geopolitically as defenders of traditional values. And in fact, they're perhaps one could even say that a new geopolitical East-West divide has been carved out based on the traditional values agenda, and even evangelical Christians in the West are looking to Russian government, the Russian Orthodox Church as global leaders on these particular issues.
And last but not least, what can IOTA do as a network of scholars to help advance discussions like this going forward?
Well, I think the most important thing that IOTA can do is bring Orthodox from around the world to discuss these issues and to have multiple voices. That's the key thing. People Orthodox who grew up in the West probably have a particular sensibility and trajectory, and perhaps maybe they don't fully understand the history and some of the more kind of detailed discussions and specific kinds of circumstances within the traditional Orthodox countries, and even some of the challenges that they're facing. So I think bringing multiple voices, I think one of the best things about IOTA has been seeing Orthodox voices across this so-called liberal conservative spectrum, engaging each other with a great deal of respect, and discussing issues, all the while affirming their common Orthodox faith.
Thanks for your insights.
Thank you.
My name is Asad Elias Katan. I work at the University of Münster. I'm an Orthodox theologian, and I do come originally from Lebanon, but I'm Orthodox professor for Orthodox theology in Germany.
And what were some of the highlights of the conference this week for you?
Yeah, thank you for the question. In my opinion, the most important highlight of this conference was the conference itself, because to have such a big number of Orthodox and non-Orthodox scholars coming together and working together and cooperating together in a scholarly manner, but also living together and sharing with each other a number of concerns, of issues. And in my opinion, this conference is actually a sign of unity and a plea for unity in the Orthodox world. It is against the background of what has been happening in the Orthodox world over the last years. We had mostly experiences of disunity. I'm thinking now of the council in Crete and of the synodal crisis which the Orthodox world has been undergoing due to the conflict between Constantinople and Moscow. And it's my conviction that this conference is actually a sign of unity, coming now not from the church leadership, but from the scholarly community, and it's a plea for unity in the Orthodox world for the future. And in this regard, I would say that it's very promising. It's a very promising event. I'm in hopes that our conference, our first, and this project, the IOTA project, I'm in hopes that it would contribute to changing the face of the Orthodox churches and the Orthodox world in terms of unity, in terms of more unity.
Session on women in the ministry that became very focused on the female diaconate, and it was really great because it turned into a very thoughtful discussion, not just on the actual content, the research content of the paper that was delivered, but how these issues affect the church as a whole. And so the audience, the people that came to listen to the paper, they really started bringing their own insights, not just questions for the scholar presenting, but also their own kind of disciplines and their own research, and it became almost like a brainstorming session of what are the issues surrounding female diaconate in the church, theological, pastoral, practical. So that was a very nice conversation to have. I also really enjoyed just being in an Orthodox, historically Orthodox country, because with so many scholars of different backgrounds, many of them from within the Orthodox tradition or their scholarships on some aspect of Orthodox Christianity, even in just the coffee breaks or an excursion or a lunch or a dinner, we're able to really have rich discussions and take that kind of research-based conversation into very practical ways, or continue the research conversation over dinner or cocktails or something.
Keep geeking out.
Yeah, it's just been a very immersive experience.
Great. Any other high points?
Other high points.
Final thoughts or insights?
I think the kind of the book display where everyone kind of different people, I thought that was very nice, a nice touch, and it was nice to see non-English scholarship that I don't necessarily go looking for or am aware of being from the United States as often, but then to see the covers, now I know to go look for that book or look for a translation. And there was also, I mean, the sessions overall, I found that it was really high quality papers, both from senior scholars and from, I saw one undergraduate honors student. Oh. I think he was from Durham, I think maybe Andrew Louth's student. And he gave a great paper on ethnographic research he had done on Mount Athos. And it was just wonderful to hear, kind of in a room full of senior scholars, endowed, chaired professors, this, undergraduate student being able to hold his own and receive valuable feedback from such a, esteemed crowd.
Well, one of the definite highlights was just seeing so many different people, many of whom I know from different walks of life, from different countries, from different disciplines and everything. Many of them old friends that I've never seen together in one room. It's a way to catch up with old friends, but also I met many new people and young emerging scholars as well. So just the company was a huge plus. You could almost say that you gain as much from these conferences from what happens during the coffee breaks and at meal times and at casual times as you do during the actual papers.
Well, that's good to hear. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I came with two particular interests in addition to the excitement of being here for the whole event. And one is of women in the church. And this was very thrilling. There have been many women scholars in many different areas. We had two sessions on women in the church, and we had excellent attendance. These were very full. The first one was packed, many men as well as women. That was very exciting. And then we also had many women scholars who were presenting their scholarship in many other kinds of areas. And then my other area is in ancient Syriac tradition and early Byzantine. And I was thrilled at how many papers there were that dealt with Syriac fathers, and it wasn't just dominated by Greek and Slavonic traditions, but the presence of a much fuller vision of Orthodoxy was very exciting.
Oh, good to hear. Any other impressions?
The vitality, the energy, the excitement of laity being able to bring this gift of our scholarship together, it's just been absolutely thrilling.
Oh, that's good to hear. Thanks for your insights.
Thank you. Thank you.
I deliberately came to this conference just to listen and absorb and not to give a paper, because I wanted to be as open as I could be to anything that God was trying to say to me. I've just finished a big writing project and I felt that I needed a break. So in that context, there were several highlights. So I thought that the quality of the panels was almost uniformly excellent, and there were many very stimulating papers, but I was especially impressed by the quality of the debate after the papers were given, which is not always that strong at conferences. So the intellectual level of the conference was definitely a highlight for me. But I do want mostly to say how impressed I have been by the Romanians. All the Romanians that I've met have been absolutely charming, and especially the Romanian clergy and monastics that have been present throughout the conference with their very delicate spiritual graciousness, and how they welcomed us and their generosity of spirit. I think that really set the tone for the conference. So although it's been an intellectual event, it's also felt like a very spiritual event.
I think the high point for me is just the spirit that was there. The camaraderie, the friendship, the excitement to be together was really strong. And it was so well planned that it made it easy to make friends and see that spirit.
Great. What about you?
I just thought, first of all, it was really welcoming right away, initially, and then the quality of the speakers was phenomenal. I was expecting some good, some bad. They were all good, and the questions from the audience were fantastic.
Any key moments or specific moments that stand out?
We were glad to get past our presentation, but that was a relief. But no, some of the lectures were really good, and they sparked a lot of thoughts. I liked Gail Woloszak's on time as fragmented. I thought that was really inspiring.
And I liked the lunch at the Metropolitan's house. Walking into that was spectacular.
The hospitality of that and the kindness, that was great.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Okay.
Any other last impressions?
Romania is beautiful. The trip to the monasteries was fantastic.
Yeah, I'll probably be back sometime.
Feels like home.
Yeah, feels like Alaska. Yeah.
Oh, well, thanks for your thoughts.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.